Hi everyone, this is Miss Lisette from Everyday Montessori, and I'm here to talk to you about this week's topic about why we should let our kids do mistakes and the benefits of it. I also said that I would be talking about the top 5 questions I get as a Montessorian, but I decided to talk about that next week because of timing. Anytime that you give an answer to the child, or anytime that you are literally showing them the answer, you are robbing them a learning experience. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but in Montessori we use a lot of glass and life-like materials that you would use at home, unlike most people use plastic with toddlers or young children because they're afraid that if it breaks they can get cut or hurt. But in Montessori, or in a lot of the lessons, like the water lessons, I would say, which is very obvious when they make a mistake, it is so important that you have that in your classroom or your home, or a little lesson that will allow them to like drop it and it actually breaks when they drop. Or like I said, a water lesson like pouring and then seeing it fall, or a drinking cup and seeing it fall. All those are examples of them seeing an actual result out of them not being proper or being cautious with the lesson. So, for example, they're doing the lesson and it's made out of glass, it falls, it breaks. Most adults are like freaking out, like, oh my God, no, like you just broke it, get out of the way, ambulance, freaking out. We gotta pick up this mess and make sure that the kid doesn't get near it because then they're gonna get hurt. Of course, you have to be cautious when something like this happens in front of a young child, but allow them to pick it up. I'll say it again. Allow them to pick up the mess and don't make it a big deal. Why? Because if you're like, wow, freaking out, they're going to be freaking out to do the lesson now. They're going to be freaking out to do anything because they're going to associate with, ooh, this is bad. I don't want to do that. But if you just make it like a really fun, like, oh, mistakes happen, let's go, let's pick it up, nicely, gentle, safe environment, then they will learn that it's okay. And they're not going to freak out every time something bad happens to them. They also learn that now I don't want this to happen again anymore. So I'm going to be really careful when I'm picking up the tray with the glass bowl that I don't drop it this time. They're going to be cautious about it, right? So when they're like pouring, the example of water, when they're pouring, if they see and feel the water falling out, then they're going to be more cautious because they don't want it to fall out. Now, of course, some kids actually do want to see it fall out, and that's fun for them, but that's another topic for another day. Another key factor on allowing your child to make mistakes is that their self-confidence blows up. And that's something that a lot of our kids lack of through bullying or their experiences that they are not capable of doing it. Like in my last video about mathematics, if they don't think they're good in math, they're going to think that they're bad, and then they're going to get low confidence around math material, and then they're just not going to be attracted to that. And it's just going to keep forwarding for the rest of their lives, right? So a really good article that I came across it's a Berkeley article, and it's called Why We Should Embrace Mistakes in Schools, and it's by Amy Eva. I'm going to put the link to the article in the bottom. The thing that I saw that was most interesting about the article was it was comparing a lot of studies on Japanese and other cultures, comparing it to the United States culture on how we teach to get the right answer, and not so much more how or why you got the answer, and the impact that it does on these kids, that when they're learning how to get the answer right, then not why or how it came to get that answer. Another topic that kind of ties into this is learning how to lose. So we're kind of known now in this new world or new age about, oh, our kids can't lose, everybody gets a trophy. Well, again, this is another robbing experience of learning for your child. Learning how to lose is so important, especially at a young age. Every time that you allow your kid to not lose, they are experiencing this thing that it's okay. It's not okay to not lose. So when they're trying to learn something and any type of sense of failure, automatically it's going to cause them to freak out. And you don't want that. You want them to try. You want them to have this sense of urge to not be scared to try things on because they're going to fail. Scientists all over the world learn by making mistakes. They take an educated guess, they try it on, it doesn't work, they try something else. Same goes for every aspect of every kid's life. Praise. Praise is also considered in this topic a no-no. Now, again, I'm not going to tell you never praise your kid, okay? But if you're a parent that's literally always saying, good job, good job, good job, awesome, great. Now, not only does it take the value of the good job or the praise, but now you're training your child to expect a good job. So if your child's one of those kids that like constant need that reinforcement, that of you going like, you're doing awesome, you're training your kid to want that. So the times that he or she's not doing a good job is going to be like bananas. Even if they're not, you're like literally lying to a child and making them feel that whatever they did was great when really it wasn't. So that's the type of inauthenticity you're bringing into this child's life. Instead of always saying good job, you know, when you do praise, because I'm not against praising, I'm against praising every single time. You choose the moments, right? You choose it when it's real and when it's a big deal and when they deserve it. But instead of saying good job, acknowledge what they're doing that's good. Be more specific. For example, wow, Johnny, I love the way you're holding that pencil. That's specific. Or, oh my God, Sarah, I love the colors you used for this painting. They're so bright and bold and they really pop. So now you're telling them what is good, not just this vagueness, and then they may not really understand what's good about it. So another example is allowing your child to self-regulate when they're not getting the satisfaction or the praise that they're expecting. They might even feel it themselves. They might not get it from you, but their own insecurities about having to get it right. Last week I had a child that she is a perfectionist. She needs to get everything right and she hates getting things wrong. And she could sense that she wasn't getting the lesson. And she just started getting emotional, like crying, like hyperventilating. And usually what I do with these type of kids is I may be like, okay, stop, let's breathe, let's talk a little bit, understand what just happened. But I've been with this girl for about 5 months now, and this happens quite often. So what I decided to do was, instead of like doing what I normally do, is I literally did not acknowledge it. I did not acknowledge her crying. I just started to redirect her, and I started to just talk to her. It was a math lesson and she wasn't getting the lesson, and I was just like, okay, so what do we do next? Okay, so what do we do? I just kept talking to her, and before you knew it, she stopped crying, she finished the lesson, and we moved on. So this specific child is a great example how she self-regulated herself, and she seeks for that attention that she is doing great when she's not, to make herself feel better. Another book that I found very interesting and that really talks about this topic, it's a book called Children Who Fail at School but Succeed at Life by Mark Kratz. I will put the name of the book and the link of where you can buy it. The book basically talks about students and how they were looked as failures. They wouldn't do well in school, but then in the long run, they actually became very successful. These are people that didn't go to college, that dropped out of school, and then now they're like billionaires. And he talks really into depth on like research on like how come these type of kids did so well, yet they were doing so bad in school. And it's the whole failure department and how failure allows success at the end. I hope you enjoyed my topic of the week. And next week, as I mentioned already, we're going to talk about the 5 top questions I get as a Montessorian. I'll be doing these every week, so tune in every week to see what the next topic will be and what we're discussing. As always, if you have any topics or any questions that you want to be addressed, put them down in the comment. Please like, subscribe, and share this video if you liked it. Until next week, see you later, alligators. Bye.